What's going on, y'all? What's going on, y'all? Hopefully everybody doing well. Hopefully everybody having a good day. It is Monday. I'm on my way to pick up Mercy from daycare. And figured I'd make a quick video on the way there, right? So yesterday Major has a dope day at his wrestling tournament. He takes first place, right? And mind you, he had another wrestling tournament the weekend before, the week of his birthday, that Rachel just didn't tell me about. I don't know why. Obviously, she didn't want me to go. But I don't know why she didn't tell me about that. I make all this stuff, you know. Um, Regardless, so we went to the one yesterday, took first place. We go get his medal. He has a copy of his bracket. And so when it comes to stuff like this, and you'll see why I'm saying this later. When it comes to stuff like this, that stuff is important to me, right? His copy of his bracket, his medals, his trophies. I bought him a trophy case so he can start putting his stuff up there and hanging it up. When Major first started playing sports, he played baseball, he played football, he played wrestling, he wanted to do basketball. I said, Mage, let's do this, right? I said, what sport do you like the best? He said, I like wrestling. I said, let's forget about all the other sports and turn you into the best wrestler you can be. I said, I promise if you put in your effort, I'll do my part, and my part is providing your resources. I'll find you a club, we'll get in jiu-jitsu, we'll practice at home. I'll do whatever I can do to provide you the best resources that I can if you do the hard work. My part is easy, right? He said, deal, let's do it, Dad. And he was probably about 6 years old. He said, deal, let's do it. We shook hands. I said, remember this. I said, because when you become a state champion and when you go to become a national champion in wrestling, I'm going to tell you, remember when we made that deal and remember how you did it, right? And you promised, and you were only a little kid at the time, but you knew this is what you want to do. And I said, let's go do it, right? Because we could do anything we put our mind to as long as we have the confidence and the discipline and all that type of stuff, right? We could do anything. And then not to mention, as a child, your parents push you and give you the resources. There's no reason you don't succeed. So, you know, on Saturdays, I can't go to wrestling matches because of my work. So when me and Rachel were together, she would always video record the matches and send them to me right as soon as they were done. Now, for some reason, we're not together, I can't pay her to video record a match. Absolutely can't pay her. She just absolutely says no, refuses to do it. You know, where I had to put a post up saying, look, any of the other parents that go to the wrestling matches, please record Major's match for me. Regardless if you're friends with Rachel or friends with me, please, this is my son, I'm missing this. It's because of work. I'll pay you if you want to, you know. So he gets his medal yesterday, and he gets his copy of his bracket, right? And I give it to him after he's done taking his pictures and he wants to see it. And then we walk into the gym, and his grandmother and what would be like his older cousin is there. And they asked to see it. They asked to see the medal, show it to them. They look at it, they pass it along, and then they pass it right to Rachel. And I'm like, I'm just looking, I'm like, all right. So I asked her, I said, would you like to get a picture of it or something? And she said, no, I'm keeping it. And I'm like, why, like, what are you doing? I said, you keep it, and I never get a copy of it. My intentions, 100%, were to go home, make a copy on my copier machine, and send Major back with a copy of it. Her intentions were to keep it, throw it in a drawer, or, probably throw it away, to be honest with you. And never have no memory or anything like that of it. Where here, I'm trying to be the nice guy and going to make a copy for her when I know that wouldn't be done. I just know it wouldn't. Y'all have seen me on lives. I send her pictures of the kids and all that stuff, and I'm just like, man, what? So she says, so I say, first, I say, let me see it. And then I grab it from her, no matter of fact, she hands it to me the first time. And I say, look, would you like to take a picture of it? I said, and I wasn't going to tell her I was going to make a copy. That was irrelevant, I just knew I was going to send Major home with the copy. And then she snatches it out of my hand. And I said, why would you do that? I said, what are you going to do? Take it and leave it on a dresser, put it in, stuff it in a drawer or something? You're not going to do anything with that. That doesn't mean nothing to you, and, Major's not around. It's just me and her talking, and it's a conversation. It's not, nobody's raising voices or anything. And she said, well, so what? It's mine. I was like, I was just, but I said, Rachel, you're not going to do nothing with that. I said, did he tell you that he has this, this trophy? Matter of fact, I sent her pictures of it when we first got it. I said, this stuff is important to him, and she says, well, so what? It's mine. I paid for this tournament. And I'm like, all right. And like, what's the big deal? And she said, well, you're not getting it. And I look and I see her mom start getting her phone to record us. So I snatch it out of her hand real quick, and I probably shouldn't have, but I just snatched it out of her hand real quick. And I said, I was going to make you a copy. And this is when I tell her, I said, I was going to make you a copy. I said, that's what I was going to do. Send home a copy, and not necessarily for just you, but for both you and Major, right? Even though I know you're just going to stuff it in a drawer. That stuff isn't important to you. But I said, that's what I was going to do. And here you're trying to take it from me and telling me, no, it's mine, right? When it's neither one of ours, it's Major's, So then her mom starts recording, and I just look at her and I'm like, I just shake my head. And part of me wanted to say, oh, I hope you record her every night when she's nodded off on the couch, right? I hope you do that. That's what I wanted to say, and when I'm saying this, I mean this. That's what I wanted to say. Oh, I hope you record her when she's nodded off every night, right? Because I know that doesn't change when she gets to your house. That's been going on since before Mercy. That don't change, And I just stood quiet, but it bothered me. I was like, man, here's this woman. She's supposed to be the matriarch of the family, right? But this is what you're dealing with. And this is why, not all of them, but a lot of the females in that family and that come out of that house have skewed views on stuff, right? And I just told her, I said, in my head, I was like, man, here you are 70 something years old and you're pulling out a form to record instead of what you should have done as a grandmother and as the elder person there is say, yo, what are you guys doing? Like, what are y'all really doing here? But you didn't. You just didn't. That's what like a wise person would have done. You say, yo, what are y'all doing here? Somebody make a copy and you could get it back. That's it. That's what you should have done instead of pulling out a phone and recording, right? But that's the thing in that family is there's zero accountability, right? Zero. If that would have been Rachel snatching it out of my hand, she didn't record that when Rachel snatched it out of my hand, of course, and I was like, man, this is further evidence of me needing to remove my children from that home. I'm telling you, man, listen, there's zero accountability there. Zero, 100% zero, like lack thereof. If it's anybody that has to do with her family, she just looks the other way, and you see it's me. And now here, let's pull out our phone and record, like how, explain that to a judge or an adult, right? Explain that to an adult to say, yeah, the best thing that I thought of doing was to pull out my phone and record instead of saying, yo, what are you guys doing here? I don't know. And it's a shame because this woman, Rachel's mom, I love her. It's a shame. But it also reinforces that I know that this is for the best. It reinforces that to a T, right? To a T, it reinforces that. And the sad thing is that, what would be like Rachel's cousin, she's a young woman, she's, might be 30 years old. She just sat there and was like, and didn't say nothing or didn't do anything, where I guess if you're not going to be like, try to talk sense into both parties, that's sort of what you do, right? There wasn't no cursing, no yelling, nothing physical, besides her pulling the paper out of my hand and me pulling it back, that's it. And I'm like, it just blew my mind. And it bothered me, man. It bothered me. Because I was like, you want to pull out your phone and record, right? And I guess that's your way of holding me accountable or whatever, right? But what you're not going to do is tell your daughter, hey, what are you doing? And I'm not talking about me and her, right? I'm talking about a whole bunch of stuff. Or tell anybody else in your family, yo, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing, right? That's what she's not going to do, right? That's what she's not going to do. And I made up my mind that once we had that meeting and I got closure, whatever it was, I was no longer going to be a doormat. You're not allowed to step on me no more, right? Doesn't mean I have to be an asshole. It just means I'll return the energy that you give me up to a certain point, right? Up to a certain point. I'm not going to be, this nice fucking guy that you could say whatever to and I just shut up. I've been that. And I did it because for two reasons, right? Because I loved her and because I just didn't want to be an asshole to her. That shit out the window though. Unfortunately, that shit out the window, to be honest with you. And I don't like it, and you see me getting emotional over it because I don't want to be an asshole to anybody. To anybody, man. To anybody. I just don't like that. I don't enjoy that. But sometimes that's the only language that people understand, right? Sometimes that's all people understand. You can ask somebody nicely, you can say please, you could beg them, you could get on your knees, they don't listen. The first time you say, hey, you get a little loud, they listen, right? So it sucks. I don't want to be mean to anybody, be cold to anybody, but like, look what me not doing has got me. It's got me in a very bad position. And I refuse it. I refuse to do it anymore. I'm not going to go out of my way to be mean to anybody. I'm just not going to allow people to treat me like a piece of shit, the way I've been treated for years. So, yeah, it just blew my mind. I was like, why are you're sitting here recording? Like, what is wrong with you? That's the best thing you could come up with. And this is a woman that claims to be like this holy church lady and, that you let your daughter nod off every single night. Every single night. Every single night. And when I'm telling you nod off, I'm not telling you like a little sleepy. I'm telling you like shit that looks like in Kensington. That's what Rachel does every single night since before Mercy was born. And she's not taking dope or anything like that. She takes pills, and that was a big contention point between us, right? Where I'd record, I have this shit all on video. Nothing I'm saying, I don't, I don't say anything without having very, video or text or receipts. I used to record this shit and show her and say, look at what you're doing. Look at what you're doing. You're not off and you're laying half on Mercy. Look at what you're doing. How about if I wasn't here? And, and that was one of my biggest concerns when we split, to the point where Mercy don't sleep in a bed with her. And what do their family think? Like, you think that's not for a reason? That's for a very big reason, right? She would not, she'd be feeding Mercy a bottle and fucking nod off and have the bottle jammed in Mercy's mouth. Where you know, listen, yeah, I don't know. So, yeah, I'd be the one, you know, I'd be the one, the bad one. I'd be the one getting cursed out for waking her up out of her nod and her telling me, "You're lying. You're lying." And that's when I started recording them. I said, "Okay, I'm lying. I'm going to record it and show you so that you can see." And listen, when I finally start speaking and start showing, maybe I think people are going to see things a little differently. And there's only one person that I've ever told this to at all. One person. One person knows this, right? Any of it. I've shared a little bit of video with her. I've shared a little bit of pictures. One person. And I've never even met this person, right? She's a friend of mine that lives on the West Coast. Her and her family have been married. You know, her and her husband have been married for fucking 30 years or something. You know, and they're just good people. And she has been one of like the 3 people that I could count on to check on me on a normal basis. You know, and she's the only one that I shared it with. And I probably wouldn't have never shared it with her, but she knew it. When I started describing little stuff, she was like, "Yo, this and this and this." She knew everything. Everything she knew. Marie, yeah, thank you. She knew everything. Before I even said it, she knew. She said, "Yo, this sounds like this or like this or like this." And I was like, yeah, pretty much so. So, yeah, is what it is. I'm about to go pick up my baby. I can't wait. Have a great day, y'all. Remember to be kind, loving, and patient. Please keep me and the children in your prayers. Um, Man, that's it. Thank you guys very, very much. And if y'all know, if y'all know of any beautiful women that love children, that are grounded, you know, um, that might be a good fit for me, holla at me. I'm just not really. I'm lonely, right? But it is what it is. Have a great day, y'all.